What's going on, Legionnaires, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that sub button and hit that notification bell. Make sure you're not missing any of the content that we have coming out. Now for this video, we're going to be diving into X-Men's XFactor issue number 8. And as usual, if you haven't been keeping up with the XFactor line, go ahead and check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It'll get you completely caught up on everything that's been going on in the XFactor line. Now, our last issue left us on a bit of a cliffhanger because most of XFactor had been murdered in the middle of the night. And this issue picks us up a little bit prior to when everybody was getting taken out. Now, this was written by Lee Williams, art is by David Baldwin, and cover is by Ivan Shavrin. And with that being said, let's dive into this issue. Now, this issue picks us up with Aurora and Northstar, and they're sitting down trying to watch some TV in the Boneyard, and she comes in soaking wet, and Northstar is a little thrown off, just like when you left this room, you were just going to the bathroom and now you're soaking wet, like without explanation. One might assume that you fell in the toilet. And as we make our way through the Boneyard, we end up at the room of Prestige. An amazing baby is going crazy, just barking up a storm. And so thinking maybe he just needs out, she starts walking around, and this is when she sees iBoy just standing in the middle of the corridor. And she asks what he's doing, and he only answers it with another question. And so Rachel tells him, I'm going outside to try to see if he wants to go to the bathroom. And iBoy kind of freaks out. He's like, no, leave Amazing Baby here with me. And he talks to Amazing Baby and tells it, don't worry, I can see something coming too. And then we head over to Prodigy. And Prodigy's using this kind of a VR headset as he's trying to figure out all of this encrypted data under this picture of him. And as he's going through it, a face essentially manifests inside the VR and comes at him, and it freaks him out, and he throws the glasses. Now, what he was actually trying to investigate was his photo, because it's layered. And final assessment of it tells him that the metadata supports Tommy's claim that the five and him had pieced together and the cause of death were incorrect. Photos were not taken at Club Pepper in West Hollywood, but that's where they were posted from. And they were posted from his old phone. And he hasn't seen that old phone since his demise. And so it raises a lot of questions as to why. What is the purpose behind all of that? And then we pick up with Dakin, and he's in the bathhouse just kind of, enjoying the time. And it seems to be that Aurora is there with him. But things turn sideways really quick, and it ends up not being Aurora, and it's kind of drowning him. And he comes up to the surface, and nothing's around him. And so, he gets up and he walks out, he gets dressed, and he calls it a night. To him, maybe he was just thinking it was a dream or a nightmare or something of that nature. And this is when we pick back up with iBoy, and him and Amazing Baby are curled up in the room, just absolutely terrified, letting whatever's in the room know that he knows it's there. He can't see it, but he knows it's there, and he can't help it if it doesn't come forward. And so this is what he calls out to Prodigy, to Polaris, somebody, anybody to help him. And this is when Dakin comes in and lets him know, dude, you gotta bring that fear level down. I can feel your fear all the way from my room. I was asleep. Your fear woke me up because it gave me a nightmare. And this is when iBoy goes and tells him, there's something here. He can't see it, but something is in the Boneyard. And this is when they see the Morrigan goddess behind them. And they have to hightail it out of here. And this is when things turn sideways super quick. And we see Siren possessed by this goddess, running them down, only for Prodigy to grab them and bring them around the corner. And this is when iBoy lets us know that Rachel's dead. Polaris is dead, and they're the last ones alive. Everybody else has been taken out. Now, iBoy is tracking the goddess, and he's gonna let them know she starts moving in their direction again. And as they're sitting here trying to break down everything that happened, this is when Prodigy figures it out. Finding trace evidence to be able to link it all together. Finding chalk dust, honey, and hollyhock pollen. He knows what happened. And if he dies right now, then he's gonna have to figure out the connection between the trace evidence and the goddess ritual sacrifices all over again. And statistically, that's almost impossible that he's going to be able to retain this information if he did die. And this is where Dakin tells him that he's going to give them the opportunity to escape. He's going to make it a distraction and dives in and goes to take on this goddess one-on-one, telling the goddess that he was made to feel worthless because of her. And the siren, who is possessed by the goddess, tells him that she did no such thing. She actually just believed those things within himself. And they're able to make an escape, and then we pick up the next day at the hatchery. And Eyeboy is the first one to introduce himself as they come out, saying, "Welcome back, the Boneyard's haunted." And obviously this is something that's relatively difficult to first hear when you're just coming back to life. And Prodigy lets them know that all of this information is going to be within the report. They're going to be able to know and find out everything that they need to. And this is where we see Professor X. And he's here to kind of offer his assistance. And this is where Polaris is like, no, like, don't you dare. XFactor's going to handle this, but thanks. And also, don't tell my father that I died. I don't want to deal with that humiliation moving forward. And so Professor X, he lets him know, like, alright, that's fine. You guys should handle this. And any hypothetical assistance you're going to need, just let us know, even simply for the Boneyard's current zombie situation. And Prodigy's just like, you guys need to listen to me. Like, it's all in the report. If I have to say it one more time, I'm just going to lose it. I'm going to freak out. And this is where we see the Boneyard currently. And it is completely taken over and possessed. And this is where Northstar tells us exactly what's going to happen. From outside the Boneyard, Rachel begins a psychic assault on the goddess. Not knowing how deeply they're going to have to go, they're going to keep slicing through her consciousness, and find and deliver everybody to Siren within inside. And since their entrance is obstructed, Polaris will be the one inside via the Hanging Gardens. And while Polaris and Rachel are doing this, Aurora and him will enter through the flight deck. And they're going to do what they can to sweep the interior of this place and get rid of any disinviting and unwanted guests that are within inside. And Dakin, he's gonna be going and charging for the big bug. And Prodigy and Eyeboy, they stay behind. And so our team begins their assault. Rachel's begun, Polaris makes her way, and Aurora is taking out zombified Dakin. Kind of like a creation that's not actually him. And Rachel works on breaking down through to the very core of Siren. Using a ridiculous amount of power, she's able to break through. And this is when Polaris does her thing. And with their powers combined, they're able to break free Siren from the goddess. And this is when Siren lets us know that they have to help her, because she can already feel the goddess coming back. And Polaris lets her know, we're not going to let anyone hurt you, Terry, but now you need to let us know about the new bargain that you've struck with this goddess. Now, that will be the end of the issue, but there is this last page that I do want to talk about. It's the little report, the little add-ins that they do here and there. And it's just really funny, and I think it really just adds to this comic. And so it's from Professor X to Northstar, and the subject is about Eyeboy's abilities. And he's saying, firstly, we want to congratulate you and XFactor on a successful dehaunting of the Boneyard, and we eagerly wait on your handling of saving Siren from the goddess. Secondly, it's been brought to the Quiet Council's attention that there's been some very interesting developments regarding Trevor's mutation, and they would like to be kept up to date on all of his extraordinary site development. And Northstar's email reply is a simple no. So I thought that was a lot of fun. I thought that was, just really very Northstar of him. But yeah, so that'll be the end of the issue. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I personally think this was a lot of fun. Definitely took a turn that I didn't expect, but I really pleasantly enjoyed. The artwork was top-notch stuff. I've always and have continued to enjoy the XFactor work since I've started picking it up. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and until the next issue.